Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good ranking. Merry Christmas, everybody. Well, welcome to another Patreon pick video. This one's a little bit later in the month, but there's a reason for that, because this month they picked top 10 Christmas movies. If you're unfamiliar with what my Patreon pick videos are, every single month, a perk that I give to all of my patrons is that you have the ability to vote and suggest a topic for a video. My patrons love rankings and top 10s, and this month we landed on this holiday cheer-filled ranking, so I decided to put it out on Christmas Day. So I hope all of you guys are having a great holiday with your families, and I hope that you enjoy this list. Now, I'm going to be ranking these not only with how much I love these movies, ranking them, that way, but also how much desire I have to watch these movies in the month of December. There's a lot of great Christmas movies out there. If I was going to make a list of all the Christmas movies that I love, this would be like a top 40 list, but these are just the top 10s, the ones that most often in December are the ones that I'm going to go to on my shelf and pluck off and watch. So, starting off at number 10, and there is going to be some unconventional picks on here. If you don't consider them Christmas movies, I don't care. Just enjoy the list. Number 10 is going to be Reindeer Games. Now, this is a movie that not a whole lot of people talk about, and kind of for good reason. This is absolutely a guilty pleasure movie. This kind of borderlines on so bad that it's good. It's back when Ben Affleck was kind of not really knowing what to do with his career. He teams up with Charlize Theron, and it's a movie that's about a guy that spends time in prison with a guy who is pen pals with Charlize Theron. They've never met each other. Dude gets killed in prison, Ben Affleck gets released and assumes his buddy's identity so he can mess around with Charlize Theron, not knowing that her brother is an absolute psychopath and has been plotting the entire time that her prison thief pen pal is going to help them rob a casino dressed as Santa Claus. So, if that premise alone does not sell you on how ridiculous this movie is, it's a movie that basically every actor involved with it has just disavowed and doesn't want to talk about it, but I have always enjoyed the living hell out of it. It's hokey, it's corny, it is so over the top and ridiculous, but to me, it's kind of self-aware about that. I kind of have a hard time believing that the people making this movie, director and writer-wise, did not know what kind of movie that they were making, because to me, it's hilarious and it's so enjoyable how ridiculous this gets. It's a movie that's got about 25 too many twists. It's a movie that stretches your believability beyond belief, but my God, is it a fun-ass watch. And every single December, I start getting those holiday vibes. Reindeer Games is one of those movies that I will pull off the shelf and put in. Number 9 is a movie that's probably going to be pretty high on a lot of people's list, and that is A Christmas Story. This is kind of the quintessential Christmas movie. Every single year, there's at least one station on TV, for those of us that still have cable, that plays this movie from Christmas Eve in the evening all the way through for 24 hours plus, just on repeat, every single year on December 25th. Now, it's a simple enough story. It's about a kid that wants a BB gun for Christmas, and he's trying to do whatever he can to get his parents to buy it for him. It's a very simple story, but it's so quirky and weird and unconventional that so many different aspects of this movie, like the leg lamp, have become iconic and synonymous with Christmas. The reason why it's so low for me, it's not a movie that I really grew up with as having a tradition. I think a lot of my family don't even like this movie, to be honest with you. But it's a movie that I caught on TV as a kid one night when I was staying up late because I couldn't wait for Christmas morning. And I kind of enjoyed it. And over the years, it is a movie that, if it's Christmas Day, if I want something on as a background noise movie, A Christmas Story functions perfectly as that. It's not necessarily a movie that I love to sit down, devote all my attention to, and watch start to finish, but as something just to have on to give that ambiance of Christmas, I always love throwing this in for that purpose. I don't know if that's a big praise for the movie or not. Number 8, the darker side of Bob Clark, who just gave us A Christmas Story, and that is Black Christmas. This is the only Christmas horror movie that is going to be on this list. This is a movie that took me a long time to watch, and though it's not necessarily a movie I like to throw in on Christmas Day, I like the more jovial, more feel-good movies. This is quite the opposite of that. In December, when it gets cold, when it starts to get that Christmas feel, I do like throwing a little darkness in there. And this is one of the greatest slasher movies ever made. For those of you that just saw my trailer reaction for It's Me, Billy, definitely check that out. There's a fan film sequel coming out for this movie by my buddy Dave McCrae. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But as far as this original movie from 1974, I believe, if you have not seen it, if you love slasher movies and you want to see what really a movie that should be given a lot more credit for kind of kickstarting the slasher genre, or at least giving it a lot of juice. Black Christmas is an awesome movie. It's got a great villain. It's got some of the best utilization of sound design with these phone calls. I have a review for all 3 Black Christmases. This is the only one that I would fully recommend to you watch, and this is one that I do want to watch in December. Number 7 is The Family Man. Now this is a family movie, romantic comedy, feel-good, whatever you want to call it, that starred Nicolas Cage back in the 2000s. And this is one that I've always felt kind of skated under the radar for a lot of people. It's a very fun and enjoyable movie. It's very similar to A Christmas Carol in ways. Basically, you have Nicolas Cage, who's this very rich, president of this conglomerate company. He's a total asshole. He has no sympathy. He sleeps with a different woman every single night, which is pretty awesome. And then he basically runs into Don Cheadle, and Don Cheadle is, for lack of a better word, an angel, and he gives him a glimpse at what his life would have been if he had stayed with his college girlfriend versus leaving her to go pursue this career, which turned him into a millionaire. And so the rest of the movie is him kind of getting used to small town life, getting used to waking up at 6 in the morning, fixing bottles, getting his kids together for work, learning about his kids that he doesn't know, rediscovering, blue-collar life where he's selling tires, and then rediscovering how much he loves his college girlfriend. And it's just a very sweet, feel-good movie where you get this guy who's a dick that's lost all of the grasp on humanity that he had for money and all these other tangible items, and then he gets to learn once more about what really to cherish in life, and it's just a very fun movie. Nicolas Cage is great in it. He's hilarious in it. His chemistry with Téa Leoni as his wife is great. He even got smaller roles like Jeremy Piven that's really good. This is a comedy that, even if it's not Christmas, is just a good movie to throw on, just to smile and laugh at. But it is a Christmas movie. It does give you those Christmas feels with this whole Scrooge, a Christmas Carol type storyline to it. And I've always enjoyed it. Love throwing it in December. Number 6, I'm kind of going to cheat. I'm going to put 2 movies here, but that's because when I watch one, I always have to watch the other. And for me, they're pretty close in quality. That might be controversial, but I don't care. I love both Home Alone and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Haha, Escape from New York. Sorry, Carpenter. So you have the classic Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone movie, and then you have the sequel, which seems to be split down the middle, which I didn't even realize until I grew up and could read the internet, that people who love it and people who think it's a garbage sequel that just rehashes everything. I love both of them, always have, always will. It's a great Christmas movies. It's a great character. The whole concept of leaving your kid behind is terrifying for a parent, but what a kid will do when parents aren't around is great. The Wet Bandits with Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, classic characters, classic villains, and both of these movies have very different things that I enjoy about them. I love the small town aspect of the first one and him kind of booby-trapping his house. And the second one, you get the excess of New York and him going in this big, scary city, and everything's just bigger in that movie, and I enjoy it just as much. So both of these movies, I don't need to sell you on them. All of you guys know Home Alone and Home Alone 2, and you love it just as much as I do. Hopefully. But I watch both of them. Number 5, I already mentioned it a little bit earlier, and that is Scrooged. A Christmas Carol is easily the most redone story as far as Christmas movies, Christmas television programs, Christmas plays. This classic story about Ebenezer Scrooge and the 3 ghosts that visit him and go through the same things that Nicolas Cage went, where you're like, okay, you're a rich prick, now you need to learn about what you lost as your humanity and what you lost about yourself as a person. And my favorite version of this story is absolutely Scrooged with Bill Murray. It's the same classic story, but it's turned up to 11 with the comedy. I love his character. I love all the classic lines in here. Can you please stop the goddamn hammering? This is a classic. This is a movie that I always loved watching with my dad. I love when you get to the point of the Ghost of Christmas Past, I believe, or is it Christmas Present? Christmas Present, the one with the fairy that keeps slapping the shit out of him. I'm gonna rip your goddamn wings off, okay? See, it's just quotable. It's a quotable Christmas movie. You know it, you love it, and so do I. Number 4, another movie that I did not realize so many people disliked it until I joined the internet and saw how many crazy opinions were out there. Number 4 is Jingle All The Way with my boy Arnold. I have always loved this movie. I don't understand the hate for it. I think that it's charming. I think it's hilarious. I think that it's very festive and gives you those Christmas feelings that you want, but it takes a little bit more of a cynical look at Christmas and the consumerism involved with the holiday and the craziness that some of us parents will go through to get our kid that one little fucking thing that they want, so they'll shut the fuck up and go in the next room. Jingle All The Way is awesome. When you get the chemistry between Schwarzenegger and Sinbad as they're battling it out trying to get this glorified Power Ranger, It's just a funny-ass thrill ride to see how far they go, how the stakes get escalated, all the way to the parade when Arnold Schwarzenegger has to fly all around. I don't care how ridiculous it is. I love every single second of it. So all you watching at home right now, give this movie a second chance if you didn't like it at first, because it is a comedy classic. And put that cookie down! Now! Number 3 is gonna be The Santa Claus. This is the movie that made me fuck up the spelling of Santa Claus for my entire childhood life, because I actually thought an E was supposed to be there. This is a great classic with Tim Allen. Now, I like the first 2 movies. The third one's okay. It's a good enough trilogy that you could watch all 3 of them with your kids on the holidays and enjoy them. But the first one is by far the best, where you have this rich guy who's, very much, in a way, he's like Santa Claus. He's in charge of a toy company, and he's much more about the politics of it all and kind of lost what it is to be a child. And then he is forced into the position of Santa Claus when he accidentally kills Santa Claus, puts on his clothes, not knowing that he is now contractually obligated to take on this job. And over the next year, he starts to get fat, he starts to get gray, he starts to have all these lists and things sent to his house, and he just regains his relationship with his son through regaining kind of his inner child and his humanity and becoming the new Santa Claus. It's just a fun movie. It's a very holiday themed movie to where it gives you everything you want in Christmas. It's got the laughs, it's got the lights, and the imagination that goes along with all of it. And I just love Tim Allen. I love classic Tim Allen comedies like this, and Jungle to Jungle, and Galaxy Quest, and this is one that I always want to throw on. When I saw that it was on Disney Plus, that was the first Christmas movie that we watched this December, was The Santa Claus, because it has always been one of my favorites. Now we got the top 2, and these are the 2 movies that I have to watch on Christmas Day. These are the top ones. These are the big dogs. These are the ones that no matter what, if I am slammed busy the entire month of December and cannot watch any other movies, these 2 I will make time for. And number 2 is going to be The Ref. If you guys just watched my top 50 comedies video, which you should have, motherfucker, you would have seen that this was very high on that list, and there's a reason for it. Not only is it a great gut-busting classic comedy that I absolutely adore, but the fact that it's making it this high on this list means that it's also just a great Christmas movie. Similar to Jingle All The Way, takes a little bit more of a cynical approach to Christmas. It's not necessarily the most festive movie celebrating Christmas. It's kind of attacking it a little bit and making it, poking fun at some of the jokes and the consumerism and how ridiculous some of the traditions that we have. Like, we gotta open the presents in the morning. No, we can open them now because we're adults and we do whatever we want. But Dennis Leary is awesome. He's at his comedic best in this. Always found him a very underrated, underappreciated actor, both comedically and dramatically, and he gets a little bit of both in this. I love Kevin Spacey and Judy Davis as this couple that hate each other to their core, and they just argue and bicker the entire time, and it drives Dennis Leary up a fucking wall. It is a gut-busting comedy for the ages, and it just happens to be Christmas themed. So I get an excuse to watch it every single Christmas. So if you have not seen it, get your ass on Amazon right now, rent it, buy it, do whatever you gotta do, sit down, watch it, enjoy it, you're welcome. But of course, number 1, any of you that have ever watched a video of mine pretty much know what this is gonna be, because it's not only my favorite Christmas movie, it's my favorite film of all time, and that is Die Hard. Yes, it is a fucking Christmas movie. I don't care if Bruce Willis himself says that it's not. Bitch, that's a Christmas movie, and nobody is gonna tell me otherwise. Die Hard is the shit. It is the greatest action movie, it is one of the greatest movies of all time, and it is the greatest Christmas movie. It has all of the themes that you want from a Christmas movie for a guy trying to get back to his family and trying to preserve Christmas. You got the thief that's in there that's trying to go for money, and he's representing the consumerism of the holiday and all about the tangible dollar signs and not what Christmas is about. And then you get some blood and some guts and some fucks all over the place just to make it a little bit more rich for an adult experience. Die Hard is awesome. I've talked about this movie ad nauseum. I'm gonna have to talk about it again very soon. So this is a movie I'm not going to splurge all of my details for how much I love it, because all of you know how awesome this movie is. Whether or not you agree it's a Christmas movie or not, you know that it's the shit. So for me, because it damn sure is a Christmas movie, it is easily number 1. Well, that's it, guys. That is my top 10 Christmas movies. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Post your top 10 down below. There's so many good Christmas classics out there that I know all of us are going to have different lists, different orders. So post it all down below. Let's keep the Christmas spirit going for the next couple of weeks as we wave goodbye to December and 2020 and hopefully all the bullshit that came with it. So thank you guys for watching. Like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Got a lot of other awesome stuff on here that you will enjoy. And remember guys, as always, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.